Hey there, Daily Dosers. Jason Diaz here from the RB campus. So excited to speak with you today because today we're talking about finding God's character in nature. Our passage for today comes from the book of Matthew. We're going to look at chapter 6, verses 26 through 30. And they read like this. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Can any one of you, by worrying, add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin, yet I tell you that not even Solomon, in all his splendor, was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today, and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? I love this moment in Jesus' life and ministry because he's just given the Sermon on the Mount and taught us how to pray, and he's trying to get his followers and disciples to level with him here and just realize that he's calling them to live higher, to be about the things that he's concerned about, to live in spite of their circumstance and live for him. And it's kind of a funny concept because in the same breath as he's talking about nature and these things that God takes care of, he's also saying, hey, don't worry about things. Don't have anxiety. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's intentional. In this moment, it's hard to get lost in this and go, man, maybe he's suggesting that I shouldn't have any worries at all in this life. I should just be happy like the old Bobby McFerrin tune. But I don't think he's saying that. I think he's saying, look, I want you to be concerned with what I'm concerned about. Live for me. Live for my people. The Message has a really great translation of this passage that I think is helpful when it says that we're called to live carelessly in the care of God. But what does that look like? Well, I got an example. Growing up here in sunny San Diego, we've always been really close to the beach, and so it's easy to just get in nature and kind of marvel at God's creation. And recently, my wife Rebecca and I had a chance to go down to UCSD in La Jolla and just spend time with my family. And to give my brother and his wife a date night, we babysat my youngest niece, Amara. Amara's the cutest thing. And he said before they left, hey, she might want to go for a walk. And so if she does, just let her lead the way. Now, mind you, this is the first and only time I've been asked to trust a 4-year-old girl with directions, but I'm like, okay, this is going to be kind of wild. Let's do this. Let's go. So as we get going, suddenly we're about 30 minutes into this walk, and I realize that I don't recognize anything around me. I'm lost. And Amara's having a great time. She's looking at the birds in the air, and she's turning over rocks to find bugs, and she's saying hi to friends on the playground. And it doesn't seem like for a moment that she's even worried at all. And I'm thinking, how do I tell my brother that I'm responsible for getting lost here and putting his most precious creation in danger? What am I going to do? And then something funny happens. Amara just suddenly makes a beeline for this path that she knows all too well. She's not worried for a second. Every step that she's taking is a step closer to get to home. Suddenly, things start looking familiar and my anxiety starts to fade, and she gets to the front door and she's like, hey, Uncle Jason, Auntie Ducky, I've got this. Let's take a potty break. Everything's cool. And I'm going, how did this happen? I think there's something in that for us that if we remember, God places things in creation to remind us as landmarks that he's there for us. We're never going to lose our way. And just like Amara, we're not going to get lost. We're not going to find a moment where the stress and the anxiety overwhelms us and suddenly we're panicking. We're going to find trust in God, who's faithful, the same God who made creation, intelligent designer who intelligently died for us, loves us, is saying, hey, no matter what, I've got this. Just be about the things that I'm about. I think that enables us in this passage to live carelessly in the care of God. Let's do that this week. Thanks for listening, Daily Dosers. Have a great rest of your week.